Hey guys, what's up? It's me, queenteelioness, back with another video for the Sonic Marathon. Today we are going to talk about Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, either or. The only difference is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle had more content, like the wallpapers and something else. I forgot what it was, but yeah, they had like wallpapers you could choose and all that good stuff. But anyway, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I'm gonna say Sonic Adventure 2 Battle because that's what I had. Like I said in the last video, when we talked about Sonic Adventure, these two games are like one of the best games that Sonic has ever had in history. If you want to listen to me talk about how much I love these games, then you can go to the last video because I took plenty of time to express my love for these games, and I might do it again in this video, but who knows. But anyway, I'm just going to not waste time and just get straight to the gameplay and stuff. So the gameplay is much better. I will admit it's much better than Sonic Adventure. You find yourself having an easier time getting around things in here. The stages, they look nice. The one thing I do like about these stages and you know how they're displayed and stuff is it's the same place. These characters go through these same place. It's just that they change it up to where it's like different music for different characters, so it's like you're seeing everything in their perspective. And then they also use like the different times of day, like in Pumpkin Hill, Knuckles is in Pumpkin Hill and it's like nighttime, and with Shadow for the level Sky Rail, it's the same place. We're still in Pumpkin Hill, it's just that it's daytime, you know. So I really like how they really try to change it up. And even like what's on the stages, like with Knuckles, you know, you're looking for the Master Emerald pieces again. We'll get to that in a second. And then Shadow, you know, he had more rails and stuff to, you know, fit, you know, his character and what he does best, you know. And so the way that they changed up the stages, the way they changed up the music for him to fit the character, and then everything, just everything about that is just fantastic, right? Now I gotta get to how each character plays, because like in Sonic Adventure, each character had something different about them, and it's a different experience every time. The thing is, Sonic and Shadow pretty much has the same things. Tails and EGGMAN has the same thing, and Knuckles and Rouge have the same thing. So it's basically doing pairs. So with Sonic and Shadow, they're really fast. Are they slippery? Not too slippery, but however, you can still fall off. Okay, just because I say all that don't mean, oh, that means it's just smooth sailing. Yeah, no, you can still slide off these things, okay? So be careful. The homing attack is fun. I love doing the homing attack. I remember in my Sonic Frontiers Final Thoughts video, I had mentioned that I just love mashing that home attack button because it's just, you can spam that crap and it is just fun. I'm kind of addicted to it. And then, you know how in Sonic Adventure, if you didn't have any enemies, you know, Sonic wouldn't go that far. Sonic and Shadow, even if there's no enemies around, they can still go a good distance when pressing the button. That also makes, you know, getting around the stage easier and, you know, less of a hassle. So if they're not going fast enough, or you feel like you need to, you know, go faster, you can just keep pressing the home attack button and then, you know, just keep dashing your way to the goal. And again, you can still fall off the stage, okay? But the thing is, it'll be more of a you problem because, again, getting around with Sonic and Shadow is just fine. It's just, you know, again, you can still fall off, and it would be mostly a you problem because you don't know when to calm down. No, I'm just kidding. Moving on to Tails and EGGMAN, okay, look, I'm gonna just maybe say this real quick. I've heard, you know, Knuckles and Rouge's levels being a pain in the butt, and I can understand why, but I'll get to that in a second. I had more of a hard time with my son and EGGMAN though, cause the thing with Tails and EGGMAN, I guess they gave Tails this like walker mech, or like mech walker, whatever you want to call it. He's walking in his machine along with EGGMAN because, you know, EGGMAN, his big self, don't want to just walk around, but he got time to do that in Child Garden. But anyway, and I guess they was trying to like match EGGMAN's energy by having Tails be in a walker, but it's like, my son can walk. My son young, he walked around in Sonic Adventure. He should do it again here. But again, I guess they're trying to like, again, pair them up and have them be similar. And honestly, it was a bad idea. Like, I understand, like, I get it. Like, we're trying to see everything in EGGMAN's, you know, perspective and what happens on his side of the story. But like, do we really have to? Tails and EGGMAN, it's an for me. They are basically like Gamma. You remember how Gamma was basically a point and shoot? You like pointing at stuff and then you're shooting at them. It's basically the same thing here. They brought it back for Tails and EGGMAN. Although that is cool, like, of course, I love the shooting part, right? But moving around is a pain. is really janky. Like, you really gotta be careful how you move around as Tails and Eggman, because one wrong turn or you go forward a little too much and then you fall off, and then if you don't jump on time, then you're basically falling into your death. Like, you're falling to oblivion. Like, wait, why timing gotta be everything with them? And it gotta be for jumping, for even shooting. Like, wait, why I gotta time this stuff? I didn't have to do this for Gamma, although I did have to worry about him being slippery and stuff. Is that what happened? Y'all really wanted to be Gamma so badly that you even copied the slipperiness and the moving around problem? Like, like, what? Okay, but anyway, let's move on to Knuckles and Rouge. Knuckles and Rouge, like I said, I had an easier time with them than with Tails and Eggman, but it's still like a hit and miss, because again, I've heard people have problems with these two. Moving around is no problem. Like, they're not too fast and, you know, not too slow. You know, they're pretty fast for, you know, somebody that's not Sonic. However, although moving around and everything is great, and, you know, climbing and the digging, everything's just fine. Even, you know, walking on walls is better this time around. The thing is, it's that flipping radar, that Master Emerald radar. Like, they brought that back, right? But unlike Sonic Adventure, they don't tell you where all the pieces are. Like, what? Why did you take that out? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can still find the pieces out of order, because I've done that before. Like, I would have the thing telling me where the first piece is at, but I end up finding like the second or third piece. But the thing is, the radar doesn't tell you how close you are to those other pieces. So if you want to go find the pieces out of order, be my guest, but the radar is not going to help you. Radar said, no, you need to find piece number 1, piece number 2, and then piece number 3. Like, why do that? By doing that, you're limiting the player on, like, you know, trying to find these things. Like, hello, you're supposed to be, you know, working with me, not against me. Speaking of working with me or against me, the surroundings kind of go against you too sometimes. Like, what? How? First of all, how in the world is the Master Emerald piece moving? Why is it moving? Why is Rouge having to go through these different planets and stuff looking for these dang things? That level, oh my gosh, good luck with that level. I think that level's got to be the most frustrating level in the game. Like, and I've talked to my best friend. She had a harder time with the one level where they was getting the Chaos Emeralds. She was looking for the Chaos Emeralds, and honestly, that was a pain too. I remember being younger, it took me like 100 times to finally get it. I think I'd rather deal with that than the space level she has, because it's like, oh my gosh, the radars, they have the little monitors now. They brought those in to give you hints, so there's no more to call, because hello, she's gone. She moved on. But they brought in the monitors to take her place, and they give you hints, and you can even pause the game to, like, you know, see them again if you have to. It's just that, again, sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not, and if you're on that space stage with Rouge, then good luck, because they mirrored the hint, and so you have to figure out what it's saying. And it's like, dude, why I gotta spend an extra minute on the pause menu just to figure out what in the world you're trying to tell me? Like, but despite all of that, despite the radar being a little more limiting than the last game, and the surroundings kind of, you know, trying to be wish-washy with me, I would still deal with Knuckles and Rouge than Tails and Eggman's gameplay, honestly. But that's just me personally. Overall, the gameplay, you know, it's pretty good. It's okay. Like, you know, surroundings perfect, beautiful. The characters themselves, you know, doing all right. Tails and Eggman, I don't know. And then they also had brought back the Child Garden. They brought back the babies. We already know this. Child Garden, you get to take care of your child. They got a little more stuff than in Sonic Adventure, because they have a school now. You get to teach your child different little skills. You can have them race again. They even brought in the karate mini game. And then they also have 3 different gardens now. They had the Child Garden, the Hero Garden, and the Dark Garden. And for those that's wondering what the heck that is, Child Garden is basically for the child. Hero Garden are for the child that were heavily influenced by the hero characters. So if you go visit the child as Sonic, Knuckles, or Tails, they become more influenced on the hero side, and they go to that garden. Same thing with Dark Garden, except if you go visit the child as Shadow, Eggman, or Rouge, they get more influenced on the dark side. So it's really fun. It's just beautiful. The child's so adorable. And of course, you get to feed them and give them these things called Chaos Drives, where in Sonic Adventure, you can give them animals. They brought the animals back here, but to to increase more of their stats, they have these things called Chaos Drive. Where did they come from? We don't know. I think there's a few theories out there, but I'm not sure. Then you can also, like I said, give them animals that you find throughout the stages. Usually they're laid around in the stage. They're not in the robots anymore because now you have Gun chasing you. Yeah, it's just overall, you know, just child garden being child garden with a lot of stuff to do and babies to take care of. They also have this 2-player battle thing now, and you get to choose to either race against each other, do a treasure hunt, or a mech battle. Then they have different missions you can do. So they have the stage select, and you go through like the stages that you finished so far. You can do different missions that they have for each stage, and so I think that's pretty neat. And then you can find different upgrades throughout the stages, and some of them are mandatory, some of them are not. However, the ones that are not really mandatory are very helpful, such as Knuckles what's that breathing little breath necklace thing, the air necklace he finds in Aquatic Mine. Find that and the last story will be a breeze for you. It's a much easier time for Knuckles' segment if you have that air necklace, bro, because oh my gosh. And then they have the cards. You get to race each other cards, or you know, beat your own time, you know, stuff like that. Overall, I mean, it's again beautiful, nice, love it. I love the child. I go to them ever so often. I don't even remember making a whole like roster. I made a whole roster for these babies. I had their names, their stats for each of the abilities. I even kept up if they went to school or not. I was on my thing. I was being a real parent with these child. I was a real parent to these babies. Like, I don't need no children in real life. I got my child. But anyway, let's move on to the music. Bam, there's the ratings right there. I might again have to do like 2 slides or something, because again, the soundtrack is just, it's a lot. And again, it's a masterpiece. Like Sonic Adventure, all of it is just a masterpiece. I find myself, you know, listening to Sonic Adventure 2 Battles soundtrack more than Sonic Adventure, and because I like music that, you know, gets me dancing. I feel like Sonic Adventure's soundtracks were more like, again, like I said in the last video, were more atmospheric, whereas Sonic Adventure 2 Battles soundtracks fit that character's perspective, and I really love when they do that, because 1, I have more reason to dance. 2 is just straight up bops to me. The theme songs, they remixed Sonic's, Tails, and Knuckles' theme songs. They had a little change up with theirs. Amy's is still the same though, and then of course we end up hearing Shadow's, EGGMAN's, and Rouge's, and it's just all just chef kiss. Mwah. But now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the story. Oh god, here we go again. This oh god is a good oh god. Okay, this is not, again, nothing wrong with any of this. So here we go. They have 2 sides of the story, hero side and dark side. So they didn't even take the time to like try to look at everything in each character's perspective this time around, because I feel like they noticed that with Sonic Adventure, it was kind of, for one, it was a lot, and again, some of the stories were overlapping, and I feel like they could have found the way to, you know, try to merge them maybe, but I don't know. But again, they must have noticed how much it was, so they was like, okay, well, let's chill out a little bit. So let's have 2 sides, just the hero, the dark, and then of course the final story. So here we go. Let's start with the hero side. Hero side, we already getting lit apparently. Gun captured Sonic. Yeah, Gun captured Sonic. First of all, this is the first time we've ever seen Gun. This is our first introduction of Gun. Already on a bad start, because what y'all doing capturing my boy? What my boy do? He saved the world last time. What are y'all doing capturing my dude? Like, what? I'm acting brand new for the newbies, okay? But anyway, so Sonic is captured, but he manages to escape, and he for real ripped off a part of the plane and used it as a skateboard. Like, hey man, that's pretty dope. They've been chasing Sonic all day, like, because when we first start, Sonic is up on the plane and stuff and getting away from them during the daytime, and then by the time Sonic has to whoop on a gun robot, it's nighttime. So I'm like, dang, they must have been chasing this dude all day, like golly, like, did my boy even get a lunch break? You know what I'm saying? They've been chasing Sonic all day, and after defeating the gun robot, like I said, Shadow ends up coming through and revealing himself. He is actually the reason why Gun is chasing Sonic. Now listen to me. I'm gonna ask Gun this, I'm gonna ask the city this, I'm gonna ask EGGMAN this, I'm gonna ask Amy this. I'm asking everybody here, okay? I am asking everyone that has mistaken Shadow for Sonic. Listen to me. Listen. I get it, right? Shadow was inspired by Sonic's supersonic form, right? Professor Gerald was inspired by the mural showing Supersonic, and he was trying to achieve that. And that's why Shadow looks like Supersonic. I get it. He looks like Supersonic. I got that, right? And you know what? It's not y'all's fault, because he does look like Supersonic. And again, it's because of Professor Gerald trying to achieve that form, trying to create that, trying to duplicate that for reasons that we won't get into just yet. So I get it. He looks like one of Sonic's transformations. But here's my question to you. Here we go. Are you colorblind? Because that's the only excuse I can find for all of y'all. Are you colorblind? Because I get it, even though Shadow looks a lot like Supersonic on purpose, the dude is black and red. When have you ever seen Sonic go black and red? The dude is blue. They're different colors. How do you mistaken them? I get, like, maybe if you see Shadow from afar and like it's dark and then you think, oh, that's Supersonic. But even then, Supersonic glows. He glows gold. So it's like, what? Oh my God. How do you? I get it. They look alike. I get it, because Shadow is supposed to be. I get it. It's just, they're different colors. Different colors. How do you still mix them up? Especially when you're up close. Amy, you definitely have no excuses. It was broad daylight. You could see that Shadow was black and red. Like, come on now. We hadn't even got to that part. But let me go ahead and chill out and get back to the story. So Shadow, again, we see Shadow. Sonic finds out that he's the reason why people's been chasing him, even though they shouldn't mistaken those two, but whatever. Shadow introduces us to the Chaos Control. He has the Chaos Emerald and uses it to do Chaos Control, and he teleports next to Sonic and pretty much showing off that, hey, I can do this, you can't. And before Sonic, question him like, hey, yo, what's going on? Gun comes through and gets him. Meanwhile, we cut to Rouge and Knuckles fighting over the Master Emerald. Rouge had taken Knuckles' Master Emerald. My question is, we don't ever get to see Angel Island. Did Angel Island fall off again? I would assume so, because again, Rouge done took the Master Emerald, but like, I would like to see that, I would like to see her really come through and then snatch up the Master Emerald. Like, how does she do that? She's so, I don't think she's that strong enough to pick that thing up, like, so like, how did that work? But anyway, they're over here fighting over the Master Emerald. Knuckles trying to explain to her like what the Master Emerald does. I feel like that was more to the player, like what's going on and what the Master Emerald is, in case you didn't know. But anyway, Eggman comes through and takes it. Why? We don't know. I think he said in the cutscene, like, I was looking through my Chaos Emerald radar and it picked up the Master Emerald. But you know what? It may not be a Chaos Emerald, but I'll take it. But before he can get away with it, Knuckles breaks the Master Emerald and the pieces shatter all over the place, and we already know what happens. We have to go find them and restore them before Rouge gets to them. Then we cut back to Tails going to Prison Island to go get his homeboy, because they got his homie. He got to go save him. And the thing is, they have my son pretty much talk to us about what Prison Island is and what's really going on. Like, he for real sat here and explained that Sonic was accused of destroying gun stuff and then robbing the bank, and we all know it was Shadow. But it's like, you couldn't have found any other way to like share that exposition. Couldn't find a way to like my son, because I know dang well, look, I get talking to myself, we all talk to ourselves every now and again, but I don't think he would for real sit here and remind himself what's going on. If he had to, I think he would say something like dang, I can't believe that Sonic is accused of doing all this stuff. I don't think he did it, but anyway, something like that, instead of just flat out just explaining what's happening. When he gets to the Prison Island, he sees that Amy is already on Prison Island. How? How did Amy get there? Did she sneak on to like one of the guns like sources of transportation? Like, how? Tails has to save her from Eggman, because Eggman was there like being Eggman. We don't even know why Eggman is there. But anyway, Amy explains that she's trying to help rescue Sonic as well, but Tails wants her to stay behind while he goes after Sonic, which is very, very bold for an 8-year-old. That's my son. He stopped a missile in Sonic Adventure. He said, I could take on anything. I'm about to go through this security, about to start messing stuff up. I'm about to just come through guns blazing. You like, that's my son. But not listening to my son, Amy decides to sneak in to where Sonic is. How does she beat Tails? We never know. Like, how did she get there before Tails, y'all? Like, what? Tails over here is having to go through all this security and stuff. I would assume that Amy would have to too, but I guess because since she has a Pico hammer, she must have had an easier time beating everybody up. So I guess that's how she got there. We'll never know. I wish we had a level where we could play as her at least once, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So she says she hitched a ride with Tails Tails to the island, but we never seen her with him. Like, and you know what? That would have made better sense, have Amy on the plane with Tails, and Amy, you know, question like what's Prison Island, and Tails explain to her what it is, and then, you know, they talk about like dang, I can't believe, you know, Sonic's been captured and after all this is happening and stuff. I think it would have been better like that. But anyway, like Amy says, she hitched a ride, even though we didn't see it, and saw Shadow on the way here, and, you know, telling Sonic that he's like, oh, word, all right, well, get me up out of here so I can go, you know, find out what's going on. So she unlocks Sonic's cell. Where she get the key, we'll never know. Again, I think it would have been nice if they gave her a level so I could see this stuff. She notices the writing all around his cell, and it's not Sonic's. However, please keep note of that because we will see this stuff again. So Sonic is free and he runs in the Shadow and they fight it out. Like literally all Sonic and Shadow is basically who's the better hedgehog. Like whose Dende is bigger. Like that's literally all it is with these two. But while they're fighting it out, they overhear Eggman on Shadow's walkie talking about that the island's gonna blow up. And so they have to get up out of there. Sonic and the homies managed to get up out of there and the island blows up. Rest in peace to all the people that was on there, cause wow, like dang, Eggman out here just being a menace to society like always. Meanwhile, Knuckles is still searching for the Master Emerald pieces and he's in Pumpkin Hill. And you know, that's not really important, but you know, it's good to know where he's at. Good to know that Knuckles is doing all right. So then Eggman sends out a broadcast to the entire world proclaiming that he will be starting his empire, of course. And so to give people a little scare, he threatens the world with the Eclipse Cannon. We don't know that it's called the Eclipse Cannon, but I'm gonna go and tell you now it's the Eclipse Cannon. He uses the Eclipse Cannon to, we already know, play the clip.
That's right, this is what you get, my super laser piss! Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth, I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon!
So yeah, he ends up blowing up half the moon, and Sonic predicts that it's because of the Chaos Emeralds, because it was a powerful blow. Pause. And then Tails shows that, hey, you know, I have one of them, so we ain't gotta worry about Eggman having all of them, you know? So Tails says that he can use the emerald to make a tracker to find out where Eggman is, and so they run off and get away from Gun, because Gun caught up and was like, hey, yo, we here to arrest you again. And it's like, dude, if y'all don't go away, can you not see that I'm not the person you're wanting? I saved the world. That's the thing. It's frustrating me, because it's like, dude, okay, I get it. They look alike, but they don't. And on top of that, dude, I saved y'all from a flood. I saved y'all from a water god. Like, do you not just think like, you know, Sonic did save us that one time. I don't think it's him. Like, did none of you think that? Did none of you think that? There's no way. There's no way none of you thought that for a minute and think, seems fishy. Like, come on. But anyway, meanwhile, we see Knuckles again. He's over here searching for more of the pieces in the aquatic mine. So far, he's doing all right. Tails tries to find the other 6 emeralds, but can't find them and believe that Eggman took them to outer space. So, you know, like, dang. And you know what? Eggman, he was on his stuff, man. He was on his ish. 6 of the emeralds, just needing that one last emerald. Like, dude was on a roll. It was bad in Sonic Adventure. He for real just snatched them things out of their hands because they wouldn't firmly grasp it. But this time around, he ain't even got to snatch nobody's hands. He just got to get them and just be on his way. Like, wow. It's just crazy. Tails tries to catch up to the president because they're trying to, I don't know how they heard about it, but well, I guess they would assume, because, you know, Eggman's over here threatening the world, and, you know, who else you got to talk to than the president? The president was in a call with Eggman trying to make some negotiations with Eggman so that Eggman don't go blowing people up. And so Tails tries to catch up to the president in his limo. They track the call and they figure out that he is in Space Colony Arc. Then Knuckles, he meets up with them after, you know, the aquatic mines. He was in the sewer, and he takes the gang to the pyramid that he saw Eggman go to when he was, you know, trying to fight ROUGE over the Master Emerald. And so they're like, okay, so that gotta be Eggman's base, you know, let's go ahead and use that pyramid to, you know, get to Eggman. So Tails finds the entrance, Knuckles finds the keys, and he has to whoop King Boom Boo. Yeah, this pyramid's haunted. Yeah, Eggman's pyramid is haunted. Like, how does he get around? Does he have to deal with the ghosts every time he's in that pyramid? Like, them things are scary. Look at it. And then King Boom Boo, like, bro, what is the story behind them? Like, I like that they kept it a mystery, but like, what happened to these people? Like, why are they haunting this pyramid? What happened? How is King Boom Boo the king of all ghosts? How did he get that title? I'm just curious. So when they get in and everything, Eggman finds them and he summons the Golem to kill them. But Sonic whoops his butt and they take the rocket to get to outer space. And I'm sitting here like, did Eggman for real just let them get to the rocket? Like, what? We know why in Dark Story. We know why, you know, Eggman didn't stop them from the rocket in his story. So we gotta wait for a bit. So they get to outer space, but they done bumped into a meteor. I don't know who's driving, but you do a terrible job driving a rocket. And then, I mean, at the same time, I mean, I can't really blame you because, I mean, it's a rocket. You know, who drives a rocket? I would assume it's like a plane, but not really. No, I don't know. But whoever was driving the thing, they didn't do a good job. They crashed into a meteor and the emerald pieces done fell out of the cockpit. Then Knuckles, of course, he's, you know, getting a little, he's irked. He's like, hey man, I need those things. And so he ends up crashing the dang thing and he has to go look for the pieces while the rest of the gang is inside the Ark, you know, trying to stop everything. So Tails explains, my son explains that the Ark shut down 50 years ago because of an quote-unquote accident that occurred. I say quote-unquote because it's more to the story, but we'll get to that in a little bit. My thing is, again, my son is over here giving more exposition to us. It's more to us than for the characters, even though it is to the characters, but it's more for us. It's like, son, how do you know this stuff? I keep asking this stuff. It's like, I keep asking this question every time. It's like, son, where is your proof? Like, I want to believe you. You are smart, but like, how did you know about the Ark? When did you have the time to look up this stuff? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so Tails' plan is to put a fake emerald. He took the time to make a fake emerald. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to do it in a short amount of time. He has a fake emerald and he was planning on basically psyching Eggman out with it. They would put the fake emerald into the Eclipse cannon and then it would just malfunction everything because it's not the real one and Eggman won't be able to use it again. Sonic gets to the Eclipse cannon, but he ends up getting a call from Tails talking about Amy and him are basically in a sticky situation with Eggman. And so Sonic's like, well, I can't put this fake emerald in there just yet. I gotta go get my homies. So meanwhile, Knuckles gets the Master Emerald pieces from outer space. Good luck with that level, by the way. It's not as hard as Rouge's, but it's still a pain. And now he has to fight Rouge because she was there as well. While they're arguing and, you know, fighting it out, Rouge loses her footing and almost falls to her death. But then Knuckles comes through and saves her. I swear, Sega, you better make them a couple sooner or later. You're gonna have to. And Rouge gives up pieces after, you know, seeing that, you know what, this dude is really wanting this beautiful jewel that I really want. But you know what, it's not worth it. So I'm just about to give it back to him. So Rouge gives it back to Knuckles. He puts it back together and he apologized for hurting her, which is so sweet. Like, he didn't have to apologize to her because she didn't really care about him that much, or at least she didn't make it seem like it and she cared, you know. So they go their separate ways. Meanwhile, Sonic makes it to the homies. Bump Crazy Gadget. Crazy Gadget can kiss my black ASS. If you somehow manage to complete that level in under 3 tries, either you played it before or you played it before, because there's no way you could make that ish first time around, not even second time around, not even third time around. That thing took me over 20 tries when I was younger to get it right. Like, how do you But of course, you know, this time around it took me like maybe 5 tries, maybe 5. I didn't keep up this time around. But anyway, F Crazy Gadget. And so he gets to Eggman and Eggman is over here trying to make a deal, hand over the emerald and Amy goes free. Sonic agrees, quote, I do air quotes, agrees, but Eggman tricks them into admitting that the emerald was fake. How did he find out that there was a fake emerald? We don't know just yet. We actually know when we get to the Dark Story. So Eggman, quote unquote, kills Sonic. I say quote unquote because he never actually does kill him, but we'll get to that in a second. So Eggman, quote unquote, kills Sonic, leaving Amy and Tails to believe like, dang, our hero, our homie, our friend literally just got murdered. We literally just witnessed a murder here. And Tails avenges him by whooping Eggman's ASS. That's my son. But after defeating Eggman, Sonic somehow manages to use Chaos Control and with a fake emerald, y'all, with a fake emerald. You managed to use Chaos Control with a fake emerald. Now, to some of you, it may seem like, you know, oh, that's just, you know, plot trying to keep him alive. You know, he's a main character, so of course he gotta stay alive. But in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people that thinks this. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but let me at least mention it. I think it was on purpose. I think Sonic being able to use a fake emerald to use chaos control, even if the emerald is fake, they did that on purpose. I think it's more than just because of plot. But again, let's keep going. He saves himself by using chaos control and reunites with Nux. And Nux is having to hear what's been going on. He tells him that the gang needs him. He needs to go, find them and check if they're okay while he tries to get to the cannon. So Sonic runs into Shadow, and of course, they're having a little conversation before their final showdown. And Shadow, even he's like, there might be more to you than just being a hedgehog. Sonic, he's like, well, I'm just me. And so then they end up battling it out. After battling him, Sonic lets the homies know that he's alive. He's chilling outside the Ark. They're making it seem like he stopped the cannon because it explodes. But I think that was like a psych out. I think it was like a fake out. I think they were trying to make it seem like, the heroes won, but that's not the case. Eggman is also seen grabbing the last emerald. When did Tails lose it? I really don't know, but maybe like when he was, in the middle of fighting him, I guess, he dropped it like he'd been doing in Sonic Adventure. But anyway, that's the end of the heroes side of the story. Now let's get into the dark side of the story. So here we go, and buckle your seatbelts because this is where it really gets heavy. And I mean that in so many ways, like buckle up. So we start off with Eggman just coming through guns blazing in Prison Island, and he's looking for this secret military weapon that his grandfather had created, and guns sealed away because they were afraid of how powerful it was. Eggman's words, not mine. For real gave us a whole exposition of what he's doing. I feel like, again, like, I just don't like being spoon-fed. Like, that's what they've been doing, for some of the story. They've just been spoon-feeding the information. And it's like, thank you, because, kids are playing this too. But, you can find another way to, tell us this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't... I feel like he should have said that when he like gets to Shadow, like, oh, so this is the military weapon that my grandfather had made. Crazy. I wonder why Guns, kept it secret. I mean, it don't look like much, like something like that, But anyway, so Eggman over here just destroying everything, just going through, being a menace to society, like always. So he manages to get to the secret military weapon, and he uses this password that goes like this. Maria. Seemed like a regular name, right? Oh, it'll become more important later on. So he puts in the password, which is Maria, and a chaos emerald that he has to release the weapon. The weapon turns out to be Shadow. And of course, Eggman mistakes Shadow for Sonic. Again, I don't know why. I guess I could kind of find a reason for him, because it's like he jumped down for some reason, even though he could have just waited till Shadow like came up. Like the cutscene's right there. Like he could have just waited until, he came up. And then you got all these lights in front of you, and then Shadow's up top. And so I guess like the light probably like blinded him a little bit, so he could barely see what Shadow looks like. So I can kind of understand maybe mistaking Shadow for Sonic, but even then it's like supersonic glows. But anyway, so because Eggman released Shadow, Shadow is basically saying, thank you, whatever you want to do, I will make sure that it happens. I'll make sure that it'll come true. He basically Eggman's genie. Like, Shadow helps him, like I said, as a way to thank him. A gun robot came through and tried to stop him, but he destroyed that. So Eggman is, questioning, like, hey, yo, what you mean by, whatever I want, you'll grant, like grant me a wish. Like, what you mean by that? Shadow just says, bring more Chaos Emeralds and meet him on the space colony Ark, nothing more. That's it. He doesn't explain what's going on. He's just saying, bring me them gems and I'll tell you what's going on. Meanwhile, we cut to Rouge. We already know what's going on. She's trying to get the Master Emerald. Eggman comes through. We know. So we know now why Eggman is there in the first place. It's because he's looking for the Chaos Emeralds, but his radar mistaken the Master Emerald for being one of them. So we know now what he's doing. Eggman goes to his secret base in the pyramid to figure out what could be on the Ark. Before he goes there, he sees the news and sees that Shadow had stolen a Chaos Emerald from the bank. Now let me ask you this. What in the world are y'all doing having a Chaos Emerald in a bank? Did it have high security? You know what I'm saying? Like, how important was this bank? If it was very important, why? Oh Lord, why a bank? That's all I'm asking. Why a bank? I never understood these places that these emeralds be at, but whatever. So Shadow basically did a GTA heist and stole the Chaos Emerald. And while Shadow is getting away from them, he has a flashback of this girl who is Maria, believing that Shadow wanted her to avenge her death. So she died. We don't know how she died. We don't know what happened. We just know that Shadow is thinking of this girl who is very close to him and is really trying to serve these humans spoon spoonful of cold revenge. So it's basically like Chaos again. You know, Chaos over here being upset over some people that didn't even do anything, except this time it's Shadow, basically. And it's a little different. I like that they changed it up. Again, we'll get to it when we get to it. So he runs into Sonic. We already know what happens there. Meanwhile, Rouge is following Eggman, and she's letting somebody know. She got a little walkie or something. She used some sort of communicator, telling somebody that she has found his base and she just now needs to get in. So she's like a spy. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, yes, she is a spy. But like at this time, we didn't know, you know, what she was doing. Rouge gets in. She sees that Eggman had used the transporter to get to the Ark, and lets us know her mission is to find out what he got going on. Basically, there's more to it, but we'll get to that. Shadow explains to Eggman about the Ark and the Eclipse Cannon. Now this exposition makes sense because he's explaining to Eggman, you know, what all this stuff is. For the newbies that don't know about this, the Ark was the first space colony created, but while it was a space colony, it was basically a front for the government to make weapons of mass destruction, the Eclipse Cannon being one of them. And Professor Gerald, Eggman's grandfather, was a part of that team. He's the reason that all of this is here. The Eclipse Cannon is there. He's the reason why Shadow's there. And so then he explains what the Eclipse Cannon is basically a weapon that can destroy planets, but needs 7 Chaos Emeralds in order for it to have full power. So already it sounds pretty scary. Like, okay, so Shadow's for real over here introducing the Eclipse Cannon to Eggman, one of the last people that needs to know about this stuff. And he's like, all right, bet, I'm about to use the Eclipse Cannon then. So Rouge interrupts them by making a deal. She comes through and is basically like, hey, you need the Chaos Emeralds? I know where they're at. However, Eggman, I need that radar that you got to find more of the Master Emerald pieces. And so basically her deal was, give me the radar, I give you the Chaos Emeralds, like where they're at. And then she shows him that she has one of them, you know, basically trying to gain their trust. Like, hey, I have one of them and I'm giving them to you. Let me help you. Help me help you. And so basically they agreed and they're like, all right, fine, she can join the gang. And so she takes them to Prison Island where the emeralds are, and that's when they initiate the heist. Here we go. And that's my thing. How do y'all have Chaos Emeralds in Prison Island? Why don't you have all of them there? Well, then that would just make the job easier for Eggman. True that. All right. So they end up planning out their heist. Eggman distracts the GUN people while Shadow sets up the bomb to blow up the island. Eggman said, I'm about to blow up these mofos. These mofos are not going to see the light of day again after I get these emeralds. Like, golly, he ain't even had to do that. But I guess he had to so they wouldn't chase him down. But dang, like that? Like, all right. So then while Shadow's setting up the bomb, Rouge sneaks in to get the emeralds. So while they're over here about to, you know, start the heist, Amy comes through and mistakes Shadow for Sonic. Again, how do you do that? It's broad daylight. You can clearly see that Shadow is black and red, and you already know that Sonic is blue. Okay, I'm sorry. Give me a second. So then Tails comes through and helps her out. We already know what happens there. So Rouge gets in there. She gets 3 emeralds. They had 3 emeralds in that piece. 3 emeralds, but is then trapped after battling out with one of the robots. And so she's over here telling Shadow like, hey, yo, I'm stuck. You know, I'm basically about to die. And so Shadow thinks of Maria. And he's going back and forth. He's like thinking about this stuff. Like, hey, yo, Maria needed help and I couldn't save her. However, I could still save Rouge. So that's when he's like, you know what, bump it. He goes back for Rouge, but before he can even get to her, he runs into Sonic. So, and we already know what happens there. So after they battle it out, he gets to Rouge, he uses Chaos Control and manages to get her out of there in time. How did Eggman get out of there? We'll never know, but I mean, it's Eggman. I'm pretty sure he thought of something. So after saving Rouge, we get a flashback of Shadow and Maria talking about Earth, basically. You know, Maria's over here wondering what it's like to be on Earth. I guess she never was on Earth. I guess she was born on the colony. And, you know, Shadow's over here, you know, talking about, you know, the professor saying like he was there when he was on Earth. That's where he, you know, discovered his passion and what he wanted to do with his life. And so he basically like, you know, do you think I need to go to Earth to figure out what I was created for? Like, the dude was really thinking about why he was created. Like, he was contemplating like, you know, why am I here? They made it seem like he was wondering that for a very long time. Like, cause they made sure it was like to where he said like, you know, I've been thinking. Like, this ain't the first time he's been questioning that. Then Shadow's interrupted by Rouge, who questions why he saved her. He basically tries to cover it up and say he was just trying to get the Chaos Emeralds, but come on now, we know that there's more to it. They were interrupted by Eggman, and Eggman comes through and is like, hey yo, so like now that we got 6 emeralds, can we like scare people now? And Shadow's like, all right, fine, let's do it. Eggman is frustrated for some reason. Like after blowing up the boom, I don't know what, like, why is he mad? Is he mad that it went for the moon and not the earth itself? Like, I'm confused. Why are you frustrated? You scared a lot of people. Them people were scared. So I don't know why you're frustrated. It kind of confused me. Shadow's talking about how their threat fell on deaf ears, but I'm like, what you talking about? He literally blew up half the moon. What do you mean fell on deaf ears? Everybody's scared. That could be them next. So it's like, I don't get what y'all mean by that. And then you even had the president on a call negotiating with you. So I don't know what y'all mean when you say that your threat fell on deaf ears. If anything, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. But anyway, Eggman, I guess Eggman was mad because it wasn't strong enough. I guess he was hoping that it would blow up the entire moon, but it only blew up half of it, I guess. So he's asking Rouge, like, where is this last emerald at? And so Rouge shows that, hey yo, Tails actually has the last one. And she shows it through a newspaper basically saying that because Tails had saved everybody from that missile from Sonic Adventure, they awarded him with an emerald. That's my son. Eggman is telling Shadow and Rouge, well, go get him. And so before leaving though, Rouge updates the people that she's working with or working for, letting them know that she's still trying to figure out if Shadow is the ultimate life form from Project Shadow. So I'm over here thinking, like, did they send her to like basically get Shadow back, or are they having her find all this information about Project Shadow, and then that way they can basically delete whatever they find, and so that nobody ever finds out what the ultimate life form is? I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was, because all she had to do was just look for information and stuff. She could have just went on here and said, hey yo, Shadow, you needed back in the prison island, come with me. But no, she's looking up information about it. So I think they was trying to do like an information wipe, like trying to get rid of all the evidence about Project Shadow. And I guess that would make sense because since Shadow's over here, running amok, and they know that the weapon is on the loose, it's like, hey yo, nobody can figure out what's going on. Rouge, get on that, find every little website, every little Wikipedia, every little source that you find, even a book, even burn that ish, delete everything. Let me know where it's at so I can have somebody to delete everything. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they were trying to do. But anyway, Rouge and Shadow follow Tails, seeing that he's going to Eggman's pyramid base. They let Eggman know. Eggman's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got this. And so we already know what happens. Sonic whoops on the golem, and he breaks off this restraining hat that Eggman used to control it. So dang, he for real came into this pyramid and said, I'm making it mine. That is so Eggman of you, Eggman. And the golem goes against Eggman, and that explains why Eggman couldn't get to the gang in time and stop them from using the rocket. Rouge gets into the ARC database with the password Eggman has. She asks Eggman like, hey yo, so what's the password? He just said, it's Maria. Why did he trust her so much? I don't know, but all right. But I guess he didn't think nothing of it since she's been helping him this entire time. So she ends up finding the documents referring to Project Shadow, but what she sees, we can't see it, but what she sees, she's like, hey yo, the math ain't mathin'. Man, it ain't making sense. And she questions who Shadow really is. I'm like, and so we're like, hey yo, what she mean by that? But before she can even, question it, she sees Sonic and the gang on the Ark, and she's like, well, you know what? My job is done. I got the information I need. I'm about to go find the rest of these Master Emerald pieces. And we already know the rest. She finds the Master Emerald pieces. She runs into Knuckles, yada, yada, yada. We already know what happened. So Eggman's still at the pyramid, after whooping the golem and stuff. And Shadow is there with him. So I guess he must have met up with him at one point. Sees that the gang has 2 emeralds. Now Eggman sitting there is like, hey yo man, my math says there's 7 emeralds. Why do they have 2? And so that's how he figured out, like, okay, so one of them is fake because the math ain't mathin'. I already got 6 of them. And you know what? Shame on us, Shame on us for not doing the math. Like, but then again, did Sonic and the gang even know he had 6 emeralds? I don't think they did. They really didn't. They didn't even know that the prison island had emeralds to begin with. So you know what? I guess it would make sense why Tails made the fake emerald, because he's like, well, hey, I mean, surely Eggman doesn't have all of them yet, right? So he doesn't have majority of them yet, right? So I mean, what choice do we have? So Eggman again figures out that one of them is fake. Shadow was about to go see him, but Eggman's like, hey yo, I've known these people since 1991. Let me be the one to ruin their parade. Eggman finds Amy. We already know what happens. Shadow witnesses Sonic's quote-unquote death, and he's basically saying, I guess he was just a regular hedgehog after all, because for the longest, Shadow and Sonic have been fighting each other, and they're pretty much equals. So it left Shadow Shadow thinking like, if you can whoop me, then I mean, you gotta be something more than just a hedgehog, because like, ain't no way you can beat me. I'm the ultimate life form. There's no way. Then after witnessing Sonic's quote-unquote death, he goes back to the Eclipse Cannon and he sees that Rouge is about to take the 6 Chaos Emeralds, because she couldn't take the Master Emerald. She's like, you know what, the Chaos Emeralds will do. And so he comes through and is like, now wait a minute, we're not doing this. And I don't know when he did his homework, but he ends up revealing that Rouge is a government spy that was supposed to find information on Project Shadow and then retrieve the ultimate life form back, I guess. I think it was just trying to find the information. I don't know. My thing is, okay, so she's a government spy, you know, hired by the president. So did y'all not tell Prison Island that, hey, yo, I'm here? Can y'all like not have the robots attack me and not lock up Prison Island? Because Eggman's over here trying to blow ish up. So like, don't lock anything down, just let me, you know, play along for a little longer, and then when everything's done, I can snatch up the emeralds and everybody will be fine. Like, she didn't bother communicating that to them. Like, that's all I'm saying. If she would have done that, then everything would have been a breeze. Like, she would have told them that, hey, yo, Eggman's here, he's trying to blow up the Prison Island, get everybody off as quickly as possible. I'm have to get the Chaos Emeralds, so try not to lock me up and have anybody go against me, please. Just like, what were y'all trying to sell, like the act? If that's the case, then y'all really didn't have to. Eggman would not have known. But anyway, so after revealing all that, Rouge is like, oh, so you think you can just air out my dirty laundry and try to expose me? Well, let me expose you real quick. So she ends up grabbing out the information that she had gotten, and she shows him like, hey, yo, if the ultimate life form that is on this paper is this lizard looking thing, we see it, it's the bio lizard, but on that paper it says that was the ultimate life form that was named Shadow. And she's like, so if that's Shadow, then who are you? In other words, she basically tried to say Shadow was a cloud chaser. Before Shadow and Rouge can discuss any more about that, Eggman's let him know that, hey, yo, got Sonic and his homies cornered. We gotta get this show going. So Shadow dismisses Rouge. He's like, you know what, get away from the 6 Chaos Emeralds. You don't need them. The fake emerald is enough for you. And then Rouge is still questioning him like, hey, yo, but like, what if you're not who you think you are? Like, your memory's probably not even real. Like, she is for real trying to have this man question who he is when he was already questioning himself, y'all. He was already questioning himself, and she for real sitting here is like, you may not be who you think you are. Like, dude, thanks for the help. You done made this man identity crisis worse. Because he was already questioning who he was. He was already questioning what he was created for. Now you got him questioning like if he even is Shadow. But Shadow, he stands up for himself and he's like, even if my memories are not real, they are still my memories. They are who I am. They are what make me Shadow. And it's all that he has. That's all that he has. So it's like no point in like questioning it. There's no point in trying to determine what's true and what's not. They're all his, and that's all he got. He had Maria once upon a time. He doesn't have her anymore. The memories that he has of her, the memories of the Ari, that's all that he has left. And so, oof, deep. But anyway, so then Shadow gets the sign. We already know what happens. Eggman puts the last emerald that he taken from the homies and puts it into the cannon. And we're over here thinking like, dang, you know, Eggman done won. But a warning goes off. What that warning means, it could mean that, you know, Eggman won. He's about to blow up the cannon, you know, about to use the cannon, or it could mean something else. So then we get to the final story, the last story. And this is when things get even rockier. Here we go. So the Eclipse Cannon does not fire. And Eggman's wondering like, hey, yo, what's going on? I got all the emeralds. Why is nothing, you know, blowing up? And a recording of Professor Gerald Robotnik plays. This footage is being broadcasted to the world in the art. Everybody can see it. And basically Professor Gerald over here chained up. And if you pay attention and look behind him, he's inside his cell. And so I guess they wanted to record his last words. And Professor Gerald basically sat there and said, I set up the Ark to crash into Earth once the 7 Chaos Emeralds are put into the Eclipse Cannon. It will break the planet apart and it will kill all of you. Once that happens, I will be happy. He didn't say that, but he basically was saying, I'm about to kill all of y'all because you took away my granddaughter, Maria. You killed my granddaughter, Maria. And for that, I'm killing all of you. Like, again, it's basically like the chaos situation. And it's like, bro, but it's like, dang, they took away his granddaughter. And so at this point, we're thinking, oh, snap. Professor Gerald for real tricked Eggman into doing, you know, what he needed to do. He tricked his own grandson. And so then I'm thinking, wait a minute. This was recorded by Gunn. And even when he finished saying what he was saying, they said ready. And I think they lit him up. I think they lit him up after that recording because they said ready. Like, what did that mean? Y'all, they lit him up after that. And so I got so many questions, but you know what? I'm gonna wait till I finish the story. So Professor Gerald's diary is the reason why Eggman went to get Shadow in the first place. Because everybody's questioning, like, you know, who is that? What's going on? Why did he do what he did? And Eggman is like, well, I have my grandfather's diary. And so Rouge reads it out. And it basically goes like this. Basically, Gerald explains that he was working on the ultimate life form. It doesn't say in his diary, and I don't know where this part of the diary came from. I guess it came, I don't know where it came from. But basically, the reason why he was working on the ultimate life form was because he was trying to save his granddaughter, Maria. Maria had this sickness going on, and he was trying to find a way to achieve, you know, immortality, basically, to where she doesn't have to worry about, you know, being sick anymore. That's why he was doing it. And he thought he was doing something good, because again, he's trying to help his granddaughter. It didn't say it in the game. I wish, if that was the case, I wish they would have said it in the game, but they don't. They just said that he was trying to do something good by making the ultimate life form. But anyway, but Gunn comes through and shuts everything down and arrested him. So I guess they must have noticed that he was trying to make the ultimate life form. He's like, oh, wait a minute now. We said make weapons of mass destruction, not try to play God. They said, we want to blow ish up. We want to hurt people. We want to make sure people are scared of us. Not you over here trying to play God and make something that, you know, could possibly even hurt us and even try to help you out, make you above us. Like, we ain't got time for that. So they come through and they arrest him. And so after they arrested him, you know, he has no idea what happened to Maria or the people of the Ark at that point. And they even shut down the Ark and covered it all up as a quote unquote accident. However, what really happened was after they arrested Gerald, they shot up the place. They said whoever was a witness to Professor Gerald's creations and the ultimate life form, light him up. Like, whoa. And so when he saw that Maria was one of the people that died on that day, he went bonkers. For good reasons. That was his granddaughter. You for real? Gunn, you for real shot up the place and killed Maria, the man's granddaughter. The man's sick granddaughter. The reason why he became a professor and tried to create ultimate life form in the first place. And you just shot her. You killed her. And so naturally so, the man went insane. The man went mad. He went bonkers. He's like, dude, I'm not about to let y'all get away with this. So he decided to create Shadow as a way to get his revenge. Shadow was basically going to be the one that avenges Maria and that carries out the plan that Gerald had created to kill everybody for what happened that day. And so he wrote that diary so that whoever gets a hold of it and wants to do something crazy, Eggman, they would unleash Shadow, and Shadow would go ahead and just take care of the rest. And I'm pretty sure y'all thinking like, did Shadow know this? I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, literally the whole time he's been talking about getting revenge for her. So I think he knew this was going to happen. And basically Eggman, you got duped. You got ganked, bro. You were tricked by your own grandfather. How do you feel? Talk about it. And that's why, and Rouge made it known, like, wow, so that's why you unleashed Shadow, because you thought you was about to take over the world and for real try to do things your way. This ain't Burger King. Rouge is like, hey, yo, so that's why you did it. Eggman's like, anyway, so everybody's about to die. Can we, like, stop the Ark from colliding with Earth? And so everybody's planning on what to do, and basically they got to get to the core to stop everything. Meanwhile, Amy runs into Shadow. I don't know where Amy be at. Like, they for real just said, let's put her in the sidelines this time around. And it's like, yeah, she was kind of in the sidelines for Sonic Adventure, but it's like she had more of an important role, and we get to play with her too. Like, we get to know what's going on with her. Here, it's like she's there, and then she isn't, and then she's there, and then she isn't. Like, but Amy's here, and she runs into Shadow, and she tries to convince Shadow to help them out, because, you know, Amy's like, hey man, everybody's trying to do their best to try to save everybody, and I gotta do something. Like, yeah, they keep leaving me behind having all the fun, and when I'm the main one complaining about, you know, being bored, but you know what, I'm gonna try to do something. So she runs to Shadow, begging Shadow to help him, but Shadow's like, Nah, everything's going to plan. This is what the professor wanted. This is what Maria wanted. This is happening. This is what's supposed to happen. So then Amy, basically being Amy, the speeches that she's been giving to these people, she convinced Gamma to be a good person and that Eggman is evil and all that stuff. She gave that beautiful speech in Sonic Adventure. She does it again here, except with Shadow. She basically explains to Shadow that even though, yes, there are some bad people, yes, some of these folks probably don't even deserve a second chance, maybe. They seem like they just have nothing going for them. However, even so, everybody deserves a chance to be happy. Like, yeah, they don't seem like they deserve a chance, but they do. They deserve a chance to be something. They deserve a chance to be happy, even whether they're good or not. Everybody deserves a chance. And Shadow thinks about this, and then Amy's like, bro, you gotta give them that chance, man, by saving them. If you let this arc crash into Earth, not only are you getting rid of the people that are bad and probably do deserve it, but you're also killing the people that are good, are trying to do something with the world or with themselves. They're trying to do something progressive. You're killing people that don't even deserve it. That's the thing about being a hero. You're saving everyone whether they deserve it or not. And that's what basically Amy is saying. Shadow, be a hero. Yes, these people probably don't deserve even forgiveness, but at least give them a chance to at least live and learn. I love how I did that there. Wow, that was deep. So this helps Shadow remember Maria's true wish, his promise to her. She wanted him to be that hero. She wanted him to be the person that gives everybody a chance to be happy because she never gotten that chance. She would not want anybody to suffer the way that she did. So she wants Shadow to give them a chance to live and be happy, even when she couldn't. Ooh, that is wow. Whoa. Wow. So that motivates him and he cries a little bit. I'm crying a little bit right now. He is like, you know what? You're right. This shouldn't have happened. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to keep my promise to Maria and you. And he runs straight to the core where Sonic and Knuckles is at. Now notice, Sonic and Knuckles, when they get to the core, they notice that this place looks a lot like the shrine for the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds. And that's because, again, Professor Gerald's been doing all this research trying to achieve the ultimate life form. He took inspiration from the Echidna tribe and the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds, knowing that they were powerful stones, and trying to achieve Super Sonic by creating him. And it's like, bro, it's a lot. So Knuckles uses the Master Emerald to stop the Chaos Emeralds because he has it. And you know, this one, I just realized something. Knuckles has literally been thrown into this. The dude at first was just trying to build his Master Emerald back, only to then be thrown into this big mission of saving the world because the Chaos Emeralds are being used for evil. And so he has to use his Master Emerald to basically stop them. But before Nux can use the Master Emerald to stop the Chaos Emeralds, the Bio Lizard comes through and stops them. He's basically the guard dog for this whole situation. And he was the prototype of the ultimate life form. Now, why did that paper not tell Rouge that it was the prototype and not the actual thing? I don't know. But anyway, but maybe it was biased. They were afraid like, hey, yo, he was making an ultimate life form. We gotta stop him. But I don't know. We don't know. A lot of this is a mystery. But anyway, let's keep going. So before Bio Lizard, pretty much tries to body them, Shadow comes through and is like, hey, yo, let me take care of it. After defeating Bio Lizard and Knuckles trying to use the Master Emerald to stop the Chaos Emeralds, the arc is still moving. And it's because the Bio Lizard had used Chaos Control and merged with the arc to keep it on its collision course. Sonic and Shadow, they're thinking, hey, yo, we gotta go super. So they use the 7 Chaos Emeralds, go super. Together, they whoop the final hazard. They're over here fighting it out, and you're hearing everybody cheering for them. Everybody is just going in at it like, bro, y'all can do it. And even in the middle of the battle, if you fight long enough, you hear Shadow even say like, Sonic, I don't know about you, bro, but I think you might be the ultimate life form.
Sonic, I think I've discovered what the ultimate life form is. It might be you.
And I know that's probably gonna anger a lot of people, like, hey, yo, no, Shadow's the ultimate life form. It's like, I get it, I understand. But bro, if even Shadow's thinking that Sonic is the ultimate life form, then I think he's the ultimate life form too then. Cause it's like, think about it. Shadow, Professor Gerald was inspired by what the Echidnas had, the Master Emerald, the Chaos Emeralds, the mural of Super Sonic, getting the Master Emerald back from Eggman. All of that, he was inspired by Super Sonic and wanted to achieve that so that he could use that for Maria. And it just makes sense to me. I mean, because like, and then it's like, yeah, it was like, if that's the case, then why doesn't Sonic know that? You know, like, why isn't Sonic like, you know, does he know that he's the ultimate life form? Does he know that he's more than meets the eye? Like, and is he like trying to hide that? Like, what? And so I can see why people would think like Sonic isn't the ultimate life form, because it's like, Sonic, hello, can you confirm? But anyway, after they defeat Final Hazard, Shadow dies. Or at least he was supposed to, but we'll get to that some other time. Shadow, because it was his first time being super, he couldn't handle the super form for long. So after they had defeated the Final Hazard, did Chaos Control together, and brought the arc back to where it was, Shadow fell because he couldn't handle the super form. It was too much for him, worn out, fell down to earth and died. And before he died, he's like, Maria, this is what you wanted. I got you. In my personal opinion, they should have kept it like that. They should have kept Shadow dead. Let him die a hero. Let him die as the ultimate life form that saved everybody. Let him reunite with his best friend. But no, Sonic Heroes came around and messed all that up, so... But we're not even going to get to that. We ain't talking about Sonic Heroes right now. Shadow dies. Sonic gets back to the arc and tells everybody, like, Shadow didn't make it, but, you know, he died a hero. And, you know, everybody's wondering, like, you know, even Rouge is like, so what do you think about Shadow? And he's like, whatever he was, he was important. He was a hero. He was amazing. And then, you know, Eggman's talking about Professor Gerald and how he was inspired by Professor Gerald even. That's his grandfather, you know, tells us, like, you know, hey, all's well that is well. No, he didn't say that. I forgot what he said, but I'm pretty sure it was something like that. And then Knuckles and Rouge, they're talking, you know, Rouge, you know, it's basically saying she's gonna give up the spy thing for a little bit, and even the treasure hunting, because it's like, you know, she's like, let me process what just happened, because, bro. Then this one last part, and this one part kind of seals the deal that, you know, Sonic is most likely the ultimate life form, because Sonic says the ultimate, he literally questions, like, am I the ultimate life form? Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't say that exact line, but he's like questioning, like, the ultimate life form. Could it be me? Like, because he's over here able to use the super form, be perfectly fine, been doing it since 91, or was it 92? Which one was it? It did come around, like, I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, right? But either way, when he first used it, he was just fine. He didn't get tired out like Shadow did. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Sonic over here got the same color scheme as Chaos, you know, with the blue and then the green eyes. I don't think that's a coincidence either. Like, what? And then it's crazy because Chaos is water and Sonic hates water. To the people that really wants to claim Shadow as the ultimate life form, I think ultimate life form, the term itself, ultimate life form, I think that's just a word. That's just a title. You know, I think that's just a title. So I think, so if you want to say that Shadow is the ultimate life form, you'd be right. If you want to say that Sonic is the ultimate life form, you would still be right. I think it's just more of a title thing and who claims it, and I think either or could claim it, you know? So it's like, it's all just a theory. If I had to choose who had to be the ultimate life form, like pick one, I would say it's Sonic. But again, it's just a theory. Calm down, it's just a theory. But I'm just saying, I don't think any of what Sonic is, or was anyway, was coincidence. I don't think it was a coinkydink. But anyway, once they depart from the arc and get back to Earth and stuff, we get the credits, and then for the end screen, we see Shadow being depicted over the Earth, remembering him for who he was. Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form that saved the planet Earth from what his creator tried to do. Yeah, that was, whew, wow. So I got a question. First, let me ask Eggman this. Eggman, how did you get Professor Gerald's diary? Like, did you, like, think one day, like, after the events of Sonic Adventure, like, man, I really miss my family. Let me go through my family stuff real quick. And, like, did you, like, think about your mom one day and, like, try to look through pictures and stuff, but then, like, a piece of paper fell out and it was Professor Gerald's diary? Like, what? Did you, like, find that in your, like, archives or something? Like, how did you get it? So I think that would have been nice. I would like to see, like, how did Eggman get Professor Gerald's diary in the first place? You know what I'm saying? saying? Like, yeah, that's his grandfather, and he can just easily just, you know, find it in like his family stuff, if he even has a family. He has his mom. But like, again, I just would like to see, like, how did you get that? Like, how did you obtain that thing? That's my only question to you, Eggman. To Professor Gerald, hey, how you doing? I know you died angry, you died mad, and you had every right to be mad. They took your granddaughter, man. So I mean, you know, I get it. But how did you manage to set up your master plan while in prison? You know, because by the time you found out that Maria was dead, you were already, you know, locked up on planet Earth. So how in the world did you manage to reprogram the arc to where that it would be, you know, set up for the collision course? Like, how did you manage to do that? Was that like a backup plan you had in case these people try to do something to you? Because you knew that gun was shady anyway? Like, what? How did you do that? Or did they for real give you the stuff to work on your master plan, and then your technology somehow connected to the arc, and I guess you hacked it, or I guess you might have hacked it. You know, you might have hacked the arc and then made it to where it would be on a collision course, which, you know what, fine. I just want to know how. That's all. I just want to know, how did you manage to do that and then manage to use Shadow and change up his memories? Because let's be honest, he did. What memories did he mix up? We don't know. Because it could be anything. Like, Shadow could have either been on the arc the whole time, hang out with Maria for a little bit, then they got separated, and then was captured by a gun and stuff. It could have happened. Or Shadow was in a test tube this entire time, thinking that he was, you know, being with Maria and everything. But Professor Gerald, you know, messed with his memories a little bit to where, like, maybe his relationship with Maria was more personal. He was never in a test tube, and he witnessed Maria's death or something. You know, we don't know what memories Professor Gerald messed with. I just want to know how. That's it. I just want to know how. Like, I know that Shadow's memories are supposed to be a mystery. They're supposed to be a mystery because no matter what, Shadow is Shadow, and he's going to take his memories for what they are, his memories. So I understand why keeping that a mystery was a thing. I just want to know how. I just want to know how you did it, Professor. That's all. And then to you, Gun. Gun, you have got to be the dustiest, mustiest, crustiest military government ever. Like, you didn't even think about Sonic not being the person you're looking for. Unless you knew that Shadow was the ultimate life form that you were looking for. I'm really trying to think about this.
Let's go.
You had to have known what Shadow looked like because you captured him along with Gerald. So how did you know? You knew what Shadow looked like, and yet you went for Sonic. Were you trying to cover it up? Think about it. What if they didn't want the public to know, like, the ultimate life form, the secret military weapon has been unleashed? And so they're trying to find him, but they're trying to cover it up and say, oh, it's Sonic. Maybe? Because you know how the government works. They like to keep it secret. They don't want the public to know what's really going on. So, like, maybe they knew they were trying to go for Shadow, but to keep people from, you know, questioning, like, hey, yo, why they trying to get Shadow? Like, you know, what's that about? Where did he come from? They go ahead and say, oh no, it's Sonic. And you know how the media works. I feel like the government can influence the media and tell the media what to say, you know? So I think maybe they knew who they were looking for. They was trying to use Sonic to throw everybody off. Whoa. But even then, you know, pushing that aside, because we really don't know what's going on. That's just a theory too, you know? That's just a theory as well. We don't know what Gun was trying to do, what Gun was thinking about. We don't know until the third movie comes out. I'm hyped. Gun, why the fudge? I'm really trying not to cuss at you. Why in the fudge did you allow Professor Gerald to continue his work even while in prison? Because think about it, I just asked Gerald, how did he manage to get his master plan into motion unless he had stuff to do his thing? Why did y'all give him the stuff that he needed to do that? Did y'all think that, oh, let's imprison him but he'll still work for us? Is that what you thought? Like, what? Why? And then why? And then, oh, it really doesn't make sense after we seen the footage of Professor Gerald practically telling you that y'all about to die. Why did you not do anything about that? You for real sat here and listened to this man say, because you took my granddaughter, I'm going to kill all of you with the colony, and just said, oh, okay, well, let's lit him up and do nothing about it. Like, why did you not do nothing about it? You let him sit here and explain to you what is going to happen. You did nothing. Why? ¿Por qué? Gun? Gun, talk about it. Why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you go back to the Ark and for real try to figure out what this mad professor had going on and try to stop it? Did you think that, oh, well, since we got him in prison and we got the ultimate life form in our hands, nothing's gonna happen, we ain't gonna worry about it? Is that what you thought? Apparently so, because you allowed this to happen. This is all your fault, Gun. And we saved you. Despite the fact that you have been on our tail this entire time, despite the fact that you raided the Ark, took Professor Gerald away from his granddaughter and killed her, despite all of that, we still chose the higher route. We still chose to be a hero and saved your ASS's. Talk about it. Why? Anyway, so that's my questions that will never be answered. I don't think it's supposed to be answered. I think it's all supposed to be just like a place for me to just theorize and really think about it, you know? And so for the Queen Tea mix, again, not gonna be long because the story is just chef kiss. The only thing I would change is, again, have Eggman say what he said from the beginning about his grandfather and everything when he gets the shadow, and then have Amy with Tails when they're going to Prison Island and have Tails explain what Prison Island is to Amy, and then they talk about what's been going on with Sonic and everything. And then give my girl Amy at least one level. Like, come on, she's part of the hero side too. She's important too. Give her a chance to shine. Give her at least one. I'm not even asking her to give her multiple. I just want one level. What level would I want? I want the one level where she is in Prison Island and she somehow manages to get to Sonic before Tails does. That's what I want to see. I want to see what does she do around that time. And if possible, maybe when she's around the Ark. Like, what is she doing on the Ark? Because literally Sonic and Tails is abandoning her and she practically has nothing to do. Like, what? Is she just roaming around the Ark aimlessly? Like, I want at least a cutscene of that, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, show my girl a little more, you know? I actually love and appreciate Amy nowadays. So it's like, I would love to see her be more of use. Or if she was of use, because hello, she convinced Shadow. But I mean, like, let me play her. Let me see what she doing. Like, I care what she got going on. I care. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Overall, this game, this story, everything, this was Sonic's peak right here. This was when everything was just going beautifully. The stories were impactful. The stories were serious. The stories were deep. Like, this was a time when Sonic was not afraid. These people that created Sonic was not afraid to show all these different sides of him, and all the other characters were not afraid to dive into some dark-ish every now and again. Hello, dark side of the story. Hero and dark. Like, they were not afraid to show all these sides of the story, all these different perspectives, all of these different emotions. They weren't afraid to take chances and really show like what they can do with Sonic. It's just, I've already expressed what I thought in Sonic Adventure. Go check that out over there. But I'm not trying to spend another 10 minutes expressing myself. But seriously, in Sonic Adventure, we learned to open our hearts, not hold on to negativity for so long. Just let it go and let in positivity into our hearts. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, we learned to, again, let the negativity go. You can't hold a grudge. You have to live and learn from the past so that you can move on to a greater future. It's just all so beautiful. But then Sonic Heroes came around, Shadow Hedgehog came around, and you know what? We're not even going to get into that. We're not going to let that ruin my high because I'm happy. I'm not going to let these next games ruin my high. You're not going to ruin it. You won't break my soul. Okay, that's it, copyright. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of all of this. Who do you think is the ultimate life form? Who do you think? Because at this point, I think it could be either Sonic or Shadow, and either way, you'd be right. So what do you think? And then what do you think about everything else? Let me know. Just talk to me because this is crazy. If you enjoyed it, you already know what to do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go and probably play one of these games again, or play Sega Superstar Tennis because I really do enjoy that game too. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Queen T Lioness signing off.